This is The Things They Carried, the chapter Ambush. First thing, if we look at the plot, this selection retells the story of his first kill that he has previously recounted in the chapter before, but with several notable differences. The first being the question of time and place. This setting is clearly told from a time much later and includes reflection on his daughter's assertion that he had, in fact, killed someone during the war. He ruminates on what he did say to her, what he wishes he said to her, what he could have said to her in response. He starts the narration much as he did in the first part. With this time, though, he tells the facts of the story quickly, and then this technique where he says, or to go back, and then he starts telling it again. Why does he tell it in that way? We have to ask ourselves. So why does he use this, or to go back? And he begins the story again. Why does he use that technique? Is he trying to give us some kind of impression that he's gone through these events in his mind many times in many different ways? So he gives us a condensed account and then an expanded account, giving us a hint of how he's lived it in different ways and different times and told himself the story over and over again. The details of the narration, he includes the position of the body, the thing with the rubber sandals, the conditions of the air, how the body was looking to him on the trail, the wound. All these are consistent with the details from the last chapter, but I think they kind of anchor the narration around the dead man and the fact that he's central in the narration. Then we get, this kind of reflection in the syntax here that, it was not a matter of live or die. There was no real peril. Almost certainly the young man would have passed by, and it would always be that way. And it would always be that way. That part kind of shows us that, things are different because of his actions, and they would always be different because of his actions. And kind of gives us a little bit of a window into his own feelings about it, whether it was a justified kill or an unjustified kill. We get the feeling in the back of our minds that he doesn't feel like it was a justified kill because of this absence of the life or death imperative. Again, in the syntax, we have the description of the grenade going off with the dashes. And it kind of gives a momentum to the series of words. The dashes, it doesn't stop. It keeps going. And just like the events, it happens quickly, rapidly, without a lot of time for reflection. The tone is much different from the first telling of the story. It seems to lack those detached or disconnected impressions that we get, and it seems to convey that he's not in the initial shock of what happened at this point in time. He's reliving the situation in a much different way. So if we apply O'Brien's own dictates about how to tell a true war story, does this one live up to it? Does it convince you in your stomach of its truth? And I think we have various answers to that. If we look at character development, how has the character of O'Brien changed? Compare him to the boy on the river from several chapters ago. How is he different in this particular moment? And then the ending where he envisions encountering the man again or another way that the situation could have played out. He's kind of hinting that this encounter on the trail isn't over. And he underscores the fact that killing the man justly or unjustly is something that can never be undone. It's set in stone and nothing can ever change of it. Nothing can change because of O'Brien's actions and what he did. It brings to mind something William Faulkner wrote in his story Requiem for a Nun. The past is never dead. It's not even past. And when you read that out of context, on its face, it seems ridiculous and how it can't be true. But when you look at it in the context of events like what we've just seen, how basically he's still reliving the events on the trail that day, and pretty much for the rest of his life he will. And certain events have a gravity and have a seriousness that makes them felt over long periods of time and maybe forever. Thank you for listening.